Hi everyone, this is Lovelin Johnson, and today we are going to be looking at the law of reflection from the 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth. Before we get started, I have a question. How many of you feel like you're constantly moving from one task to another without taking time to pause and reflect? I know I am guilty of it. My day is packed with activities, and I literally run from one event to another until I crash, and then the next day, the same thing happens. But if you look at the leaders who have made a great mark in our society, they all took time to pause. They didn't run from one activity to another without taking time to pause. So we can learn a lot from them. I know we live in a culture where speed and productivity are valued more than pause and reflection. But if we take time, then our experiences will become great insights. I love this quote from the book. It says, "Experience is not a great teacher. Evaluated experience is a great teacher." So let's not just go through life experiencing different things, but let's evaluate those experiences and see what they could teach us. I think I read one of John's books where he talked about the importance of thinking, and I can tell that I've incorporated it in my life. But when I think about my thinking is always forward thinking. It's seldom backward thinking. Once a year, I would look at my calendar and the things that I did and would kind of evaluate my life. But often it is forward thinking. What do I have to do next? What are the things I plan to do? It's more of preparation, more of planning, more of what I could do tomorrow than what has happened today. What is the law of reflection? Learning to pause allows growth to catch up to you. The book talks about how in life the test is given first and then the lesson follows. But the lesson doesn't always follow if we don't take time to pause and reflect. If we are just going after one thing after the other, the lesson will never come, because the lesson comes to those who stop, pause, and reflect. John talks about the importance of having a time and a place to think. I was reminded of this kids program called Blue's Clues. My boys were quite hooked to it at that time. And the thing that I really still remember to this day is this thinking chair. The main character would take the clues with Blue, which is the dog, would give him clues. There are 3 clues that are given, and he would write in his handy dandy notebook, and then he would go to his thinking chair to pause and think and reflect. So what could we learn from it? When you have a particular place, when you have a particular time to pause and reflect, then your body gets into this autopilot mode where this place means I am to think, and your brain will start getting into reflection into what happened in the past, and you could convert your experiences into great insights when you do that. The book talks about 3 levels of experience. There are life markers. Those life markers, those are events that happen to us, and it could turn into life makers, and in between comes reflection. So life markers, the events, can translate into great insights, which is the life maker. And in between, when we focus on reflection and pausing, we are going to get great value from it. I know this is a tricky thing for leaders, because leaders are so forward thinking. They are about what is next. They have got this big vision on where they are getting to. And it is hard for a leader to calm down, to pause, to reflect and think about what happened. But if you don't look back and think about what happened and look for patterns, you will miss out on the opportunity of growth, because the law of reflection states that learning to pause allows growth to catch up to you. I would encourage you to take time to think about your today before you run into tomorrow. Let's talk about the 4 I's of effective pausing. The first I is investigation. What just happened? Why is this constantly happening in my life? What patterns are occurring? What can I learn? When you investigate the things that's happening in your life, you can then convert it into great insights. The second I is incubation. Think about some great quote, some powerful words that are helping you to grow, and keep incubating, keep thinking about that over and over again. Keep it in a notes app or in your journal or somewhere you could see, and keep thinking about it over and over. And then when you incubate those ideas well, then comes illumination, which is the third eye. When illumination happens, that's the eureka moment. You solved it. You understood this code so well, and you could think of stories that could tie with it and real life examples that you can think of. And now this insight is so ingrained in you. And then you can go back and incubate on a different code or a different idea and keep at it, because you are bound to get into the illumination phase where you finally get it. The last I is illustration. That actually puts flesh to the bones, which is your insight. As you keep investigating and incubating, then you are able to put some meat to your skeleton and your outline, so to speak, and now it is great insight that could be shared to someone else. So, reflection is such a powerful tool. If we use it, we can convert our ordinary experiences into great insights, because we are pausing, we are reflecting, we are thinking about why that happened, and our life will be transformed. Experience is not a great teacher, evaluated experience is a great teacher. I hope you would take time to have your own thinking chair, to put a time to it, so that you would always go there, and your only goal for it would be thinking. And when you think and reflect on what is happening today, your tomorrow would be brighter. I hope you found this lesson helpful. Next week, we are going to be looking at the law of consistency. I hope to see you there.